You feel that if we don't get this situation in Syria resolved, that within 6 months we're going to be dealing with something far more serious between Iran and Israel. Explain what you mean and what kind of serious situation do you think we'll face in 6 months?
Well, Iran is the biggest ally of Assad. They're linked to the hip. Russia's been helping. So anything we do in Syria is sending a signal to the Iranians. I believe the Iranians are trying to develop a nuclear weapon, not build a nuclear power plant. Do you agree with that, Mike?
Absolutely. I don't think there's any illusion on any sane person's part to think that they're not trying to weaponize nuclear material.
Well, look how we've handled the chemical weapons threat in Syria. If we duplicate that with the Iranians, they're going to march toward a nuclear weapon and dare Israel to attack them. So in the next 6 months, our friends in Israel are going to have to take the Iranian zone unless the United States can send a clear signal to Iran, unlike we've sent to Syria. The mixed message and the debacle called Syria can't be repeated when it comes to Iran. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a bipartisan coalition together. We're going to put together a use of force resolution allowing our country to use military force as a last resort to stop the Iranian nuclear program, to make sure they get a clear signal that all this debacle called Syria doesn't mean we're confused about Iran. We may be confused as a nation about what to do with the chemical weapons in Syria, but we're not confused as a nation as to what to do with the nuclear program in Iran. I think Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, and Vegetarians all believe the Iranians cannot be allowed to get a nuclear weapon, and we have to send that signal, and I'm going to draft a resolution allowing force to be used to stop their nuclear program. I'm going to need your help, Mike. I'm going to need your audience's help. Every friend of Israel needs to rally behind this endeavor, and Israel feels abandoned after Syria. And I want to send a signal to Tehran and Jerusalem and Tel Aviv that we're not going to leave our friends in Israel behind, and to the Ayatollahs. If you march toward a nuclear weapon, all options are on the table, including the military option.
So, Lindsey, I want to clarify. You actually are going to seek sort of a preemptive approval to give the president a loaded weapon so that he feels the absolute freedom and support of a bipartisan Congress to take whatever action, including military, against Iran to prevent them from having nuclear weapons.
That's exactly right, Mike. If the Iranians develop a nuclear weapon, every Sunni Arab state will want to challenge the Shia Persians' nuclear capability. It will start a nuclear arms race. I'm afraid that the Iranian Ayatollahs would share the technology with terrorists, and it would work its way back here to America. You're on the road to Armageddon if the Ayatollahs in Iran get a nuclear weapon. So what I'm going to do is offer a resolution allowing the use of force as a last resort. Let the president know when he said all options are on the table, including the military option to stop the Iranian nuclear program, that the Congress agrees with him. I'm not asking him to come to us. We're going to put it on the table because, Mike, if we don't do this soon, this mess in Syria is going to lead to a conflict between Israel and Iran because the Iranians have to believe America is not serious about their nuclear program after the way we've allowed Putin to lead us into a blind canyon in Syria.